Joining me now, the news at 10 is the Acting Director of the Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sani Usman. Thank you, Brigadier General, for joining us on the news at 10. What is the standard procedure of transmitting supplies to soldiers?
Good evening.
You're welcome. What's the standard procedure of transmitting supplies to soldiers at the war front, especially for those fighting insurgency in the northeast?
It depends on the location and, of course, whether it is a formation or unit. Right from the onset, at the beginning of orders, adequate arrangements are always made for logistics and resupply, depending on the situation. But that notwithstanding, provisions are equally made for replenishment in case supplies have been exhausted. So there is always a line of supply or kind of supply chain, depending on the size of the troops and their locations.
What specifically has been done to improve welfare of Nigerian soldiers in the past 2 years?
Quite a number of specific issues or steps have been taken. First and foremost, if you look at it, particularly within the last 17 or 18 months, I might say, the various leadership of the military, they have always been there in the field with the troops, listening to their complaints and participating in most of the activities, especially on the front line. Now, coming back to specific issues, there is timely and prompt payment of allowances and salaries and all other entitlements. And apart from that, also the supply of weapons, equipment, and other logistics. Specifically in the Nigerian Army, we have initially the Army Headquarters Logistic Base 1. Now we have 2 and 3, bringing whatever is the requirement of the troops closer to them, as against the previous instances that when you are at the front line, take for instance in Baga, Kangaro, or elsewhere, you need to request for supply as far back as Lagos. But now it is no longer the case. Supplies are not only in Abuja, but they are there in Damaturu, Maiduguri, and Yola. And of course, there are other field ordnance parks. As the troops move along, supplies also move along with them. And there is tremendous improvement in kitting and other welfare programs way back at home.
Brigadier General, in the proposed 2017 budget, defense was allotted 140 billion naira. That's far less than the 294.5 billion naira allocated in 2016. Are you concerned that this reduction could adversely affect soldiers' welfare?
Not at all. Although, if you look at it from this perspective, nobody or no military has all that it requires. And I'm so sure as time goes on, provision will surely be made whenever there is need for, for funds.
Apart from allocations, what other sources of income are available to the military, and how can these be expended?
Well, basically, these are policy issues. Soldiers actually, they rely heavily on what is given to them. And whatever is given to them is on the basis of need. And when you talk about sources of income, naturally is allocation from the Federation account. And of course, it is appropriated, just like you mentioned, through the budgetary allocation. And apart from that, within individual services, there are other welfare programs where you can be able to internally generate so that you can be able to attend to 1 or 2 things. For instance, in the Nigerian Army, we have Nigerian Army Welfare Holding Limited, which has a lot of, a few other subsidiaries like the Nigerian Army Properties Limited, the post-housing schemes, and others. Even though they are welfare schemes, but they are run in such a manner that they can be able to equally generate funds so that they can be able to service other needs of the military.
Brigadier General Sani Usman, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. We do appreciate you and the members of the Nigerian Army as they protect our borders and our lives.